Good morning, coffee and sports. I am playing the single most inspirational tabletop football game in my life. That's pen and paper football by John M. Stater. I say that because this game brought me back to tabletop sports games and inspired me to publish and get my own games out there. So I don't play this a lot, but I have been since 1026. I have been playing the All-American Football Conference 1946. So I started with those who don't know, the All-American Football Conference is a real league. It's the league that launched the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Colts, the San Francisco 49ers, all of which in 1950 joined the NFL. So I made all of the teams for the AAFC in 1946, career, and of course a career mode, and of course I'm using a schedule from the book, not the real life schedules. I am in week 9. I've been playing this since 10/26/25. What's when I made the schedule? I can't remember when I made the teams, but I probably made the teams a couple of days before I sat down and made the schedule. So we're going to play the week. So I talked about this the other day in one of my other videos that I made a winning team newsreel highlights. So when a team wins, I can check to see what the Saturday matinee black and white newsreel would be at the monster movie, right? For those of you who are familiar with Saturday matinee movies in the 40s and 50s and even the 60s, they would have had newsreels in the 30s, 40s, etc., 50s. So anyway, our first game of the week are the New York Yankees against the Los Angeles, and again, these are all real AAFC teams from 1946. The New York Yankees against the Los Angeles Dons at LA Memorial Stadium. We have a 9 versus 5, so +4 for New York. And remember, New York is 5-0-3. They have tied the other undefeated team, the Cleveland Browns. So New York is on a 3-tie run. They tied 17. I think they tied 17-17 and then 23-23 and 14-14. So they have had 3 straight ties in the AAFC here. So that's game 1. And then on the backside, I have the key players that would show up in the highlights. Right? Okay, so let's go ahead and and the coaches, etc. So LA Memorial Stadium, we got 8 at 10, so -2, +1 for home, so -1 for LA in their scoring opportunities. We're using league play, which means we just need a D20 and we modify it. All right, so the first quarter, New York. This team is coached by Ray Flattery. Parker is the quarterback, Prokop fullback, Spec Sanders is the running back. Russell and Alford are the top receivers. Johnson's the place kicker, and the return man is Sanders. Of course, we won't have any of those details unless they show up in the newsreel. 10 +4 is 14. That's going to be 7 points in the first quarter for New York. Los Angeles with Dudley DeGroot is the coach. O'Rourke's the quarterback. Kimbrough and Finnebach are the running backs. Gentry and Nowowski are the main receivers. Aguirre's the place kicker, and Finnebach is the return man. 14 -1 is 13. They're going to score 6. They miss a field goal. They miss a PAT there. New York with a +4 is going to score 22. 22 is 13 points. They have 20 at halftime. And Los Angeles 10. They're going to score 3. It is 9-20 at halftime. Better than I thought, but right now New York is on pace. 5 +4 is 9. New York's going to squeeze out only 3 in the third. That helps LA. They got to roll high. No, LA shut out in the third after the halftime speech by Ray Flattery. And 4 +4 0 shut out LA. So New York's coasting? Man. And 16 -1 is 15. That's 7. They will coast in and win this, folks. 23-16. A team that's tied 3 in a row, you think in the fourth quarter would have been a little more aggressive, but they are 6-0-3. LA falls to 1-7-1. And let's see what the highlight is. Remember, the highlight goes to the winning team. It's going to be a 29-yard pass to the tight end. So Parker with a 29-yard TD pass 2, the tight end, is Alford. And Alford last week got the highlight as well, pass last week. Let's see here. Alford. Parker had a 33-yard pass to Alford last week. So back-to-back weeks, Parker's found Alford for 33 and 29. Those are the highlight reels. So kids all around the country who go to the monster movie on Saturday, triple header monster or double header monster movie with a highlight reel and a cartoon, will be familiarizing themselves with Parker and Alford, and those guys will become heroes in the eyes of those kids in the 1940s and 50s. All right, we have so this game is done. Yankees at LA, finished across the country. All right, we have Miami Seahawks and the Chicago Rockets. Miami is 7 versus 7, is +0, so not horrible. And again, Rockets are 7 versus 7, +1 for being at home. So Chicago has a slight edge, and I mean a slight edge. We're at Soldier Field here in Chicago. Hampton Poole is the coach of Miami Seahawks. They have Pugh at quarterback. Reese and Nelson are the backs. Davis and Blount are the main receivers. Artitz is the place kicker, and Gafford is the return man. On the flip side, coaching Chicago is Pat Boland. Hornschmeyer is the quarterback / tailback. Lewis and Hirsch, Crazy Legs Hirsch, by the way, are the backs. Hayward and Leahy are the main receivers. Nemeth is the place kicker, and Hillebrand is the return man if they come up in the highlights. All right, Miami with a +0 goes to work. 18. Miami's going to score 7 in the first quarter. Chicago with a +1 is going to score 7. It's 7-7 after 1, folks. Miami on the road, 7 more points. And Chicago shut out 14-7 at halftime. The Miami Seahawks are 1-6-1, trying to win their second game. Chicago's 2-5-1, trying to win a third. 20 for Miami coming out of the tunnel. 20 is 10 points for Miami. They're having a day here in Chicago. And Chicago +1 scores 10. 20 for them. Oh my gosh, so 20 points scored in the third. The ticket holders here in Chicago are getting their money's worth from two teams that appear to be pretty bad. 17, holy cow, Miami has their best day, another 7. And Chicago's going to get 11. 11 is 3, not going to be good enough. I think Miami's going to win this. 21-31 for Miami. 20 for Chicago. Being shut out in the second killed Chicago. And Miami is now 2-6-1. Chicago is 2-6-1. And the highlight here is Miami. And Miami's highlight, let's get one card at a time, Jay. Miami's highlight is a 42-yard pass from Pugh. So Pugh, 42-yard TD pass to Blount. Spelled like Mel Blunt. So Blunt, I guess. B-L-O-U-N-T, Blount. And there we go, Pugh to Blount. And Miami only gets their second victory of the year. Both these teams not very good. So we'll see how they fare over the next few years. All right, this is the game of the week. So I'm going to play this the way I always have played Pen and Paper Football's league play, with determining every score of the game. So now we go from my newsreel highlight deck to my quarter deck, right? And I've already shuffled all these. My quarter deck here. Matter of fact, let's get that out of the way. That is my Pen and Paper box score details deck. All right, man, it is the one and only Cleveland Browns, 7-0-1, led by Otto Graham, Paul Brown. There is no Jim Brown yet. He is not part of the. He won't be part of Cleveland until 57. But fantastic team, 7-0-1. The Buffalo Bison are playing well too, 4-3-1. When I say well, 4-3-1 in this little league, launching this little league, that's not horrible for them. They're in a tough division. Cleveland comes in here with 11-8, so they're going to be a plus 15% scoring potential. And the Buffalo Bison are 9-9. They're going to be +1 against this Cleveland defense. So good job, Buffalo. And we're going to open it up with Cleveland and +3 to every one of Cleveland's rolls. So here we go. Let's get that out of the way so I can see the scorecard. 18 + 3 is 21. They're going to score 10 points in the first. How do they score the first one? This will be the field goal. And the field goal is 32 yards. Field goal of 32 And then Cleveland gets a touchdown. The touchdown is a 4-yard pass to guess who? 4-yard pass to running back Jones. So it's going to be Otto Graham, the greatest quarterback to ever suit up, man. Unbelievable. Oh, well, at least I would argue really rivals Tom Brady's championship pedigree. Let's put it that way, right? He has a lot of titles, did Otto Graham. Jones. So this was a 4-yard pass to Jones. All right, and the PAT was good. All right, the PAT by Groza, the foot. All right, here we go. We're rolling for Buffalo with a +1. 10 plus 1 is 11. They're going to get something out of this. They're going to get 3. So they're only down by 7 in the first. The Buffalo Bison are going to get a field goal of 46 yards. That's pretty heavy duty for the man. And the man here is Zontini. And this was Groza. All right, there we go. Second quarter. Let's find out what go down. Cleveland with a +3. 9. Oh, Cleveland just musters 3 late in the quarter. That's the way I see that. Cleveland's going to get a late field goal from the foot. 40-yard field goal. Field goal of 40 for Groza. And Chicago can make this interesting. 11 minus +1 is 12. They're going to get 3 as well. So they're hanging in there in the second. As Buffalo's going to add another field goal from Zontini. These are all real players from the AAFC rosters. I rated the teams based on performance. So subjective, based on their stat performance, their score performance, their team performance. There it is, folks. It's going to be a 58-yard field goal. That's got to be a record. That would be a record for the AAFC. That might be a record for the time period. 58-yard field goal by Zontini. And there we're at halftime. It is Cleveland 13, Buffalo 6. Folks, this is a little too close for comfort for Paul Brown and the Cleveland Browns. Let's look at Cleveland. Cleveland had Paul Brown at coach, Otto Graham, Marion Motley, fullback stud, Jones, Dante Lavelli, and Speedy were the main receivers. Groza and again Jones returning kicks. Red Dawson was coaching Buffalo with Deck DeBrun, I can't ever say this quarterback's name. Deck DeBrun is the quarterback. Kulbitsky is the fullback. Jeswick, who's had a brilliant season. He's got a lot of highlights for these first 8 weeks. Jeswick's also the main receiver. King, so Jeswick would be the flanker back, running back coming out of the backfield. It's Zontini, and of course Jeswick's also the return man. So Jeswick for Buffalo is kind of a jack of all trades, right? All right, third quarter. We're going to stay with Cleveland. I'm going to keep it in order because it's easier on my brain as I'm processing coffee. Oh, Lord, 23. They're going to score a big quarter, 14. That's going to put the game out of reach, most likely. 14 points. Cleveland's going to get 2 touchdowns here. The first touchdown coming out of the tunnel for the Cleveland Browns is going to be a 27-yard pass to the running back. So it's going to be Graham again. Graham with a 27-yard pass to the back. This is Jones catching a second TD pass. And then their next one is a 3-yard run by Jones. So Jones having a day, 21 points, 3 touchdowns for Jones on a 3-yard run, PAT. And that's pretty much going to put this away. I could roll a 19 or 20 to get 10 points for Buffalo. Let's find out. No, they're going to get just 3 again. But Buffalo's managing to put on a fight. I mean, they're not rolling over and getting their butts handed to them. I mean, they're not rolling over and quitting. Zontini with yet another field goal. So he's doing everything he can for his Buffalo team. Fourth quarter, what does Cleveland do? 6 plus 3, 9. They're going to get a field goal to close the game out. Is Cleveland. Groza with a field goal. This is our game of the week for our AAFC 46. 36-yarder. Groza adding to their lead and securing it. And Buffalo finishes with a touchdown. Good for Buffalo. So Buffalo not dead yet. For good measure, lets everyone know that they put up their best fight. Quarterback 12-yard run. So Deck DeBrun with a 12-yard run. The quarterback with a 12-yard, that would definitely be a highlight reel. And folks, let's wrap this up. 24, 27, 30 for Cleveland. 10, 13, 16 for Buffalo. Cleveland is 8-0-1. Buffalo falls to 4-4-1. One heck of a game. The fans here in this poor weather, I'm sure horrible weather at week 9 of the season. We will not need this deck because I'm not doing another game of the week, so I put this deck away. I've been using this deck for years for all of my pen and paper football league play highlights. I've only recently added just a simple highlight of the week when I want to play out quickly the league play. And then, of course, I have a cheat sheet that lets me play out the full simulator when I want to play out championship games, which I will be doing soon. All right, last but not least this week. So Cleveland, by the way, wins that 30-16. So we got +3 versus +1. We had 10, 3, 3, 3, 14. That was the barn door. That was blowing the barn doors off right there, the 14-point quarter. And then 8-0-1 and 4-4-1. The highlight, I'm going to go in here and say 27-yard pass to Jones. So we're going to put in here Graham. 27-yard TD pass to Jones out of the backfield. That's our highlight. Last game of the week, San Fran at Brooklyn. The 49ers, who will go on to join the NFL along with Cleveland and Baltimore. Is it Baltimore? Cleveland and San Fran. Cleveland, San Fran, and Cleveland, San Fran. I can't remember. It wasn't Buffalo. I think it was Baltimore. Baltimore joined the AAFC later, I think, or one of these teams became Baltimore. I can't remember the exact details. San Fran 8 versus 7 is a +1 scoring, and 8 versus 9 is going to be -1, but they're at home +1. So Brooklyn comes in here with a chance. We're at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. So the coach here of San Fran is Buck Shaw, Albert, who will go on. I think that's Frankie Albert is the quarterback. Stan Lee is his name, is the fullback. Eschmont is the running back. Fisk and Beals are the receivers. Vetrano is the place kicker, and Casanegra is the return man. Cliff Battles, who was he was one of the first, I think he was the first 1,000-yard rusher ever in history, if I remember right. He goes on to become a coach here of Brooklyn. Dobbs is his quarterback. Principe and Maine are the backs. McCarthy and Judd are the main receivers. Martinovich is the place kicker, and Dobbs is also doing the return duties for Brooklyn. Let's see. Brooklyn, by the way, San Fran is 4-2-2, and Brooklyn is 2-5-1. San Fran with a +1 is going to get a touchdown in the first quarter. Brooklyn with a +0 is going to be shut out of 1. That's not good. Buck Shaw going to get a touchdown. It's 14-0. Brooklyn needs to score 14, no modifier. Oh, they get 7. It's 14-7 at halftime. San Fran trying to keep up the pace. Shut out. I rolled a 1. Brooklyn has a chance. Yep, it's tied 14-14. Fourth quarter. This is a big deal. Here we go. San Fran needs to score. Then Brooklyn has to fight. It's going to be 5+1. No, they're shut out. Brooklyn can win this with any score. Yep, touchdown. Brooklyn at home. It's going to win 14-21. They are 4-3-2 or San Fran. Brooklyn is 3-5-1. And our highlight for this game is a 64-yard pass. Cliff Battles Dobbs throws a 64-yard pass, a TD pass, to their wide receiver McCarthy. Wow, brilliant day for the hometown Brooklyn Dodgers. Outstanding football. And that wraps up Week 9. This was my game of the week of the AAFC 1946 season. And Cleveland having a great day with some field goals and 3 touchdowns for Jones. And there it is, folks. Let's recap Week 9. New York travels down to across the country to Los Angeles. They're trying to protect their undefeated record. They do. They come away with a 7-point victory over LA, a feisty LA. They win it they're 23-16. They're 6-0-3, and LA drops to 1-7-1. The highlight for that, Parker threw a 29-yard pass to Alford in that game. Miami comes to town in Chicago at Soldier Field. Miami puts up their best offensive performance of the season, scoring 31. And I'm assuming in poor weather. Chicago 20. They get shut out in the second and really can't make up for it. But worse, they give up 31 to Miami. Miami climbs to 2-6-1 in the standings. Chicago falls to 2-6-1. The highlight here was Pugh, a 42-yard pass to Blunt for Miami. All right, Cleveland, we watched this game in its entirety. Well, we watched this game highlights in its entirety. Cleveland at 7, undefeated with a tie, comes to Buffalo in, again, I would venture poor weather, and they win it 30-16 on the back of 3 Jones touchdowns. They're 8-0-1, and Buffalo drops to 4-4-1. The highlight, 27-yard touchdown pass to Jones. Last but not least, we saw the 4-2-2 San Francisco team travel all the way across the country to Brooklyn with a +1 advantage, get shut out in the second half. Brooklyn's fans celebrate as they send San Fran packing with a 21-14 victory. San Fran falls to 4-3-2. Brooklyn is now 3-5-1, and that wraps up Week 9 of the All-American Football Conference of 1946. In, as I've said before, and I'll say again, pen and paper football, baby. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.